Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Craft Tea podcast, or Craft Tea with Sara and Jason. I'm Jason, and Sarah's here with me too. She's just being a mouse this morning.
I was just waiting for you to stop talking and then I could talk. You didn't want me to talk at the same time that you did you?
You can talk whenever you'd like.
Oh, I'm going to remember that. I am going to remember this moment for all the times. Yup, here we go.
It's morning here for us. I don't know wherever you guys or whatever time it is, whenever you're listening to this, if you're listening to this.
I feel like you're about to say we're a smooth jazz radio station or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling smooth jazz. I still have like 90% of my coffee in my cup, so I have to get through this a little bit before I wake up some. But
You're still warm. Mine's starting to lose it.
No, remember mine is nuclear. I drink Americanos only, and it is the power of the sun when they make it, and I can't even drink it for like 20 minutes.
I'm not sure you know how hot the power of the sun is, but
I do.
continue.
It's in my hand. So, yeah, I mean, what we thought about, I just wanted to say briefly, I wanted to apologize to anybody that is from our area. We didn't talk about the Super Bowl like at all in the last podcast. Like at all. Like this is like
we didn't talk about the Super Bowl in the Glitter podcast.
Such a major thing. Yeah, I know, but we talk about like what's going on in our weeks, and I mean, like, seriously,
it's just funny.
Like Super Bowl or not, whether we even care about football, which I do, it affects us. I mean, the traffic was affected. I mean, there's fireworks going off, so like sleep was affected. Like there was effects outside of just caring about the Super Bowl itself.
Did you win any of your parlays? I didn't get to ask you. Well, I could have, but I didn't.
No, we lost. The Eagles lost everything.
Well, I didn't know you do other things.
Everything was coupled on us winning. I'm not gonna bet. I will never ever bet against the squad.
No, I didn't know if you could do things like
in the Super Bowl
without the final score.
You can, of course, you can.
Well, that's what I was wondering. If you
but no, I want to bet that my team was gonna win the damn chip. That's what I wanted. That's what we all wanted. That's what the people deserved.
They almost did.
It was,
from what I saw.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into like football talk, so I just wanted to talk in general that I felt so silly afterwards. I'm like, I think we went over all the important things that are happening this week in our lives, and I'm like, son of a gun, Super Bowl went right over my head. I even made, right before we shot Craft Tea, I made a Super Bowl Tumbler, so it's not even like an excuse that I wasn't thinking about it or anything.
And you tried to ruin my craft with
I did. I was throwing aprons, apparently.
Being reckless.
Got to check tape. Apparently. Allegedly.
I was going to say, what's that word that they use? Allegedly. Do we ever check the tape on that?
He's innocent. Or at least it's not on tape.
Because he's quick. He does it before you set up.
Let the record show.
that Jason is sneaky.
Innocent.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that was that. So that summed up the rest of last week. I mean that was the one piece I think that was missing on what.
La 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 la.
And then we had obviously the glorious, most important Hallmark holiday a couple days ago in Valentine's Day. If anybody had fun stuff, we usually my thing every year was always I wanted to have one fancy dinner. I wanted to have a dinner where we get to live like the other side lives, and just like I don't look at the price tag, I don't care. I literally Google most expensive fancy restaurants in Philadelphia and I just like go down the list, and that's just one dinner. And we've done that every year other than the 1 year Hurricane Maria hit. That's the year we actually won the Super Bowl, ironically.
I still did it that year.
And I was so excited because I booked, it was at R2L, it was a rooftop dinner, and there's only one table that you can get that is against the glass for the sunset. At sunset, I booked this thing like 4 months in advance. I was fired up. And then I got called to Puerto Rico. So then like I missed it, wasn't even there. But then I was like, Mom, I want you to go. You have a fancy dinner because my dad passed, like a long time ago. So she hasn't had a fancy, Valentine's Day in years.
We had a
You got
lot of fun.
right. I
I
remember
saw
this.
a whole nother side of your mom. Who knew? A drink and not even, I don't even think she finished her whole drink and she's giggling.
Oh yeah, she was definitely. She liked always playing it up. So that was just like literally just like I said, where we wanted to feel like the other side feels. You know what I mean? My mom would play that to a T. She would definitely play the part if you gave her the opportunity. So
She
I
was
know
like,
that she
everything's so
definitely had a great
expensive.
time.
What do I get? I'm like, he already paid for it. You had to pay for this
Oh
early.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I forgot you had to prepay for your meal. It was that kind of place because they were like, "Listen, you whether you make it or not, my man, we're getting ours."
yeah, for that
Uh,
seat.
so yeah, I mean that this year I had something similar planned, and it was supposed to it would normally be tomorrow. So it's Thursday today. It would have I had it booked and all. It's gonna be at Chop House this year, and I screwed up. I
I
didn't
appreciate
double
that you
check
said that.
Sarah's calendar, and Sarah's got trips, man.
Which is ironic because your
She be
reservation came
traveling.
up on my phone, on my calendar. I can see the reservation, so I don't know why you can't see my calendar.
I mean, I tried. I really did try. But either way,
No, I meant like Google Calendar.
Sarah's
We have to figure out
going
how that works.
Sarah's going to Two Moms crash out. What's the thing?
A live stream experience.
Live stream experience. Thank you. I'm not good with following what everybody names everything right now because there's a lot of things happening and they're all awesome. Um but yeah, I know that Sarah's stoked to once again have a nice little girls weekend, but this time the baby's staying home with me. So but Sarah leaves tomorrow morning. Um, so I already had to cancel the dinner and I had to call an audible. What actually happened, I felt I was a little sad because I even said to Sarah, I was like, well, I just can't do surprise anymore. That's like my thing. I like surprises. And we have such a busy schedule now. It makes it hard. So, um, it was another random thing that happened at work where there's like more sickness going around, you know what I mean? And then like kids are having to stay home from school, so some of our employees are moms, so they got to stay home and the kids got to stay home. So we lost our
Work nanny for two
our
days.
work nanny for Monday and Tuesday. So Monday Sarah stayed home so that I could get a bunch of stuff done at the office. And then I told her I wasn't even planning it out this way, but I told her I was like, "You know what? I know that Sarah gets extremely anxious when she can't get her hands on stuff. And from home, she can still get work done, but like she's not in it. You know what I mean? She has to be in the trenches. Like I'm surprised she doesn't put on war paint when she gets ready in the morning. But uh I was like, you know what? I will stay home with the baby and you go and do everything at work and we'll be chilling. I realized, I don't know, minutes after I said that statement, I'm like, son of a gun, it's Valentine's Day. I have an opportunity to recoup. So me and Alex had adventures. We went all over the place. We went and we marched all along the mall. We went to Target. We were cruising. It was a good time. She had a great day. We got you your cat ear, your coveted cat ear
Mm.
headphones.
When we
I
were looking at
thought,
headphones, I found these cat ear headphones on Amazon, and I wanted them so bad. They were expensive on Amazon though. The holy grail of the pairs.
they were like immediately after too. I mean, don't get me wrong, just like, and I said it previously, my thing is like, I run off and go and do stuff. I don't tell anybody what I'm doing. And then I just like, I'm like, here, look what I did. Like I said,
This is
that
true.
goes along with the surprises thing. It's not always good though. I should have asked Sarah specifically, which headphones would you like for the thing?
These.
So what I thought was she probably wants pink headphones. I got her the same exact headphones as mine in pink, which they're nice,
They
but they're
are.
not exactly what she wanted. So when she was like, well, can I have cat ear headphones? I was a little upset because I just bought her these damn pink ones.
Which are nice. I did like the pink, and I love, pink is one of my favorite colors.
But I should have asked you in the first place.
But these have cat ears.
So
I came home, and I was like, when I came home, not yesterday, the day before. Oh man, the house smelled great. I'm like, oh man, it smells so nice in here. And Jason's like, looks nice, and he's like, we're gonna go out to dinner, get
that's
changed.
to say I don't normally look nice.
You weren't in a t-shirt. Uh, so I'm like, I'm marching through, and I think I said a second time how nice it smelled, and I went into the bedroom, came back for something, and saw a little setup you had on the dining room table. It was a vase of flowers and candy, my cat headphones. There was something
A
else.
homemade card from
A
Alex.
homemade card from Alex. He made her hand the little tree trunk.
We did a little Valentine's Day craft
It was
together on
adorable.
our day off.
Then I go into the bedroom, and there is more gifts on the bed. Some bath bombs, some Himalayan salt rocks, a little something else.
It was all
It was sweet. It was in a cute little basket.
and I put it together. I was like, you know what? I could have like grabbed, Bath and Body Works got baskets and stuff, but I went to Five Below and just like got a spread of stuff.
It was really sweet.
I tried to make like a little pamper yourself kit.
It was very sweet. I
But-
pamper you every day, so that's what I gave you.
I'm fine with that.
I don't usually do things for Valentine's Day.
No, I mean, I honestly normally, other than dinner, opt not really to participate because it is just a silly Hallmark holiday, like weird obligations to just throw money away.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's fun to just feel nice. And I know that we've been having a lot of stressful days in the past.
I think
really
they're
the
good
past year.
stressful this year.
Oh,
though.
yeah. Like, I think this year's up. This year, I'm so excited for. I mean, like, from last year. Like, I feel like we're
Oh,
still
it was last
recouping
year.
from last year. Last year was just wild.
It was up and down.
Um,
It was different times.
But yeah, so you wanted to talk about this week. We don't have a guest for you guys. I know I said we might have a guest, and the answer is no, obviously. And then I know that likely we won't have a guest for next week because we're gonna have to do a rapid fire shoot. Normally there's like a whole week of stuff that happens in between, but since Sarah and I are leaving for wedding on Wednesday, we're gonna have to shoot on Monday or Tuesday. So there's only gonna be like a weekend worth of stuff. I mean, Sarah's gonna be able to catch up on her two moms trip, which will be dope. And
Yeah,
I got
we'll
my
have plenty of
weekend with
fun
Alex.
stuff to talk about, I'm sure. So I have been having extra time to browse Facebook again, finally, and it's popping back up again. The group posts, how do they word it? How do you deal with this? My best friend or the girl that I know down the street is starting to make the same things I make. And yeah, I hate it. And I'm sure that everyone's picturing the way they word it in their heads now. Competition. I mean, when I thought about talking about this on Craft Tea, I started thinking, are you competitive, Jason Lively? I feel like I don't see, like, sometimes I see it, but most times I don't, maybe you just hide it so well. Are you competitive?
I am. I hold myself to an extremely high standard, maybe like an unrealistic standard sometimes, but I also am confident in what I'm capable of. But it's taken years for that. So if I lose at something that I know that I was good at, it hurts. So yeah, for sure.
You just don't talk about it much.
I mean, I think honestly, I'm probably a victim of what a lot of people are, is that I have such a, I don't know, confidence in myself that there's so many things that I'm not willing to do because I fear that I won't be the best at it first try.
So you're so competitive, you shy away from it.
I'm so competitive that, yeah, that if there's a chance that I'll lose, I won't compete. Sometimes, not every time, but that definitely is something that happens.
That is definitely a way that people handle competitiveness, because some people can and can't handle it, and I've definitely seen a lot of that over the past few years, even in myself, because I've definitely changed since day one, because I was one of those girls in the beginning, and then I'm like, remember, we had a few friends in our personal circle, because I wasn't on Facebook in these groups when I first started making cups in 2015, and when the girls started popping up making them, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I have to make this because they might make it first. I have to do this now. I was focused on all the wrong things because I was so worried that one of these girls would make that stupid cup before I did, and then it would be like, I'm copying her, but like, who cares also? I had to, that was ruining me. I had to change the way that I looked at it, and I even had to go back and apologize to somebody that we're friends with because I might not have been the nicest to her in comments, and I didn't realize it when I was doing it. I realized it afterwards, and I decided that I'm not going to compete with anyone anymore. I'm solid in what I feel. I'm solid in the fact that if I make something after she makes it, that it's still fine. And I can even, and I probably should give her credit, and we can be friends about this. Like, we can do the same thing and we can both coexist. And that has definitely taken me farther than how I was before.
It that type of feeling too, like it transcends the like levels of success too, because even as business owners and everything, it's like very similar. Everyone is very, very geez, protective
Oh, yeah.
uh of like this the simplest ideas. You start getting crazy to the point of like thinking, like maybe to an extent, some people are borrowing ideas from each other, and some might borrow ideas from each other's a little more often than they should, or might maybe that idea was they borrowed a little too much of it, instead of just a bit of it. But um you start getting so crazy to the point that you feel like everybody's stealing everything. So if I have a sale, now if somebody else has a sale, I'm like, "Whoa, I have sales. Nobody else has sales."
Yeah,
That's
they're
my
copying
thing.
me. They did a sale, they're copying
Like you
me.
get nuts, you know what I mean? You start taking it unrealistically to a state of paranoia just about. You know what I mean?
I
But
got
that's
that
why
way,
I
remember?
tried from the get-go, and even with the cup making, to just spread the word of market share. Market
We've been
share.
doing that
Let's
since
say
day
it.
one.
Everybody that's listening, let's say market share. Where's so many there are so many seats at the table. You know what I mean? Everyone can have a seat, and everyone can sit and have a meal together happily, instead of trying to separate, this is my table, this is your table, and I get all the food and you get the scraps. It's like it's you start spending so much money even at the cup makers level, because now you see cup makers that are running ads and stuff, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's just like hyper aggression. You know what I mean? Like you can operate within your circle, and then like within the word of mouth, you did so much. Granted, the market was not quite as saturated when you started your cup making,
No.
but you came up with original ideas.
Yeah.
You
People don't even know about them. I don't, because I don't,
Yeah, and
I forget about that.
you spread it out. You made so many different types of things. Every time I walked into the garage, it was something totally different. You worked with different mediums and stuff, so it wasn't always like a glittered tumbler. So I see very specific questions a lot too. When you see in the groups, hey, can I see your best X or your best, Y? And it's like, I feel like there's a lot of room for creativity. I mean, I guess you could just be grabbing a whole lot of reference photos and then using them all for inspiration, and be getting bits and pieces. But I'd say 99% of the time, I usually just see an exact copy of something.
Yeah.
That's why
It's
even in my
easy.
tutorials, I try to be like a smidge on the vaguish side, or even in our quack pack and stuff. Like I try to give multiple versions of something so that you can add your own flair to it. As long as you're adding a little bit of finesse, I feel like there's not that room for the critique, like you said, in the competition of like, you stole from me or you bit off me. It should feel more like you were inspired by me.
Yeah.
You helped me with my artistic block. You know what I mean? Like I was at a roadblock and you helped me get past that. Thank you.
I think more people are gravitating to that now than there was before.
Absolutely.
Because even, I mean, 2019 is always my biggest example, and that goes for cup makers and glitter sellers. It was rough being a glitter seller in 2019. I remember, and feelings were hurt left and right. Everyone was, butthurt about this and that, but it was the getting kicked out of groups. As soon as you announced that you were selling glitter, there'd be like 10 groups that you're banned from, and it's like, oh, and me specifically, I was like, I wasn't ready for this. Like, I hang out in those groups.
You were asking me about this too, like the last couple days, if I remember, and I do remember very specifically that.
It was a war zone.
Because sometimes it really is kind of hard to remember exactly where everything came from. Like it was just so
You couldn't tag.
because we've been kind of like been pushed on this, like, I don't know, like this fake pedestal. I feel like a little bit, because we are still literally just crafters that started a business. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? Like we
Definitely.
were just crafting along with everybody else. Came up with a great idea, came up with great branding, and then turned it into something that's really awesome, and try as much as possible to continue to give back to the community, like the crafting community and the community in general, really. But yeah, it's like you get hated on for that.
I was
We get shunned.
I was talking to my friend who happens to sell glitter, and we were reminiscing about 2019. I don't think I mentioned this story before on Craft Tea, but we were talking about the names and how you could never take a name that another glitter seller had for that. Even if you came up with it, they don't care. They didn't believe you.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even matter. And she told me she remembered she'd go through all of her new glitter, name it, and then go to like 5 or 6 particular websites and search that name, and if it came up, she wouldn't use it. And I was like, oh, like I would remember there was a few of them that we named that
I have one
we
very
got called.
specific.
Is it orange?
Traffic cone.
That's the one I was gonna say. That was the first time we came in contact with that.
Because I wanted to name it safety vest, or
It was something like that.
yeah, I wanted to name it another generic orange like sign, and I think it was actually Mr. Nola's that had it, right? Yeah. But I mean, at this point, so you're talking then.
This is like
there was,
January of 2019. It's so early.
There was like, I don't know. I don't want to. I'd say at most 10 glitter sellers, including us, and I'm that's a lot. Like there was probably closer to like 6, but
there's a bunch, but some of them we just didn't know too.
Right, that's why I said like.
Yeah,
probably
you're
like
right.
10.
Yeah. Of the bigger names, I guess.
So now, I don't know, a few
dozens
thousands,
and dozens,
whatever. You know what I mean? Like but so if you search traffic cone, you know what I mean, there's probably 400 people that named a glitter traffic cone at this point. Honestly, we have like multiple glitter companies that follow specifically behind us and name their colors directly like after our colors. Like colors like Dragon Ice have been renamed, and like those were ones, because we have glitter names like Pencil. Like, dude, you can name it Pencil, right? Like it is a pencil. But I have an obsession with dragons tattooed on my neck. Everything I make is generally dragon themed. If you guys saw any of my like tutorials that I've made like in the way past, it's usually all dragon stuff.
But that wasn't just Dragon Ice. That girl took like page. I remember after someone sent me her website, I went through and I was on page 5, and there was not a page that went by that there wasn't multiples of our names on there. And I'm like, come on.
It was egregious. Yeah, I remember.
I don't even remember her company name at all.
But it was just when I just saw like some like Dragonites, that's when I'm like, that was where the claws come out when we're talking about being protective and stuff.
I remember that.
So it's like there's boundaries of the protective, you know what I mean? Like, come on. I'm not gonna jump down your throat for naming something Pencil or naming something like, a very generic name. But I put a little effort into that. I mean, listen, Dragon Ice is not the most original, fantastic name.
It's just one of those
but it came out of my head. So
it was crazy. It was real wild back then. And I wanted nothing but to be friends with everyone, and they didn't want to be friends with me. One of my best friends now, she gave me some advice last year and told me that people just aren't ready. Like cup makers, it's so watered down now that it's fine. Like we can be friends because there's a ton of us, but there's still not enough glitter sellers where people feel super comfortable being friends. And I think that's definitely changed. I mean,
yeah,
some of the people that I love to hang out with sell glitter. I'm torn about this Texas trip. I know that I should stay home because we got so much to do, but I really want to go because when am I going to get another time to hang out with Peachy? Like Nikki and Jen, I'll probably wind up seeing them sooner than later, because we're obsessed with each other. But like, Peachy's down in Georgia. I don't know when I'll hang out with her again like this, like a girls' trip. So I want to go hang out with my glitter friends.
Yeah, I heard.
And it's crazy.
I never normally hear you be like giddy at the kitchen table on phone calls. It sounded like my sister used to sound when
When
she
I was
would,
on the
like,
phone with Nikki
be up at
last night.
16. Yeah, I'm like, Jesus, you guys are rowdy. Thought they were gonna wake the baby up. I said, Nikki, I wasn't kidding, is the loudest one in the room, and she wasn't even in the room, dude. And she was still the loudest one. I could hear her. I had headphones on in the back room playing video games, and I could hear clearly what was going on in the kitchen.
We were getting riled up. I love her. We were on the phone for over an hour, too. I'm surprised we didn't wake the baby up.
You were like, yeah, there was like adrenaline definitely rushing through those veins, because when I walked
she gets me excited
back into the kitchen to grab a drink, you like halted me. You were like, bah, 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 bah. I was like, huh? I just came for a drink. And you were like, but the craft expos and bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, oh, I'll see you later. I literally just turned around. I was like, well, I let you actually go. I let you just continue because there was no stopping you.
I was like a car that's winding up its wheels, you're holding it in the air, and then you just let it go.
It was, you were like a top that was just ready. Spinning.
She gets me riled up, what can I say? I love them. I love hanging out with them. So I'm kind of torn about being responsible and having fun. It's like, it sucks. But anyway, what do you want? There was one more competition thing that I don't ever talk about, and it's, still kind of freaking crazy when you think about it. Etsy. Remember that? Do you even remember when I got kicked off, when I was banned from Etsy? Because I kept that so quiet. I don't even remember the parts that I even told you.
You were keeping it pretty much quiet from me.
That's what I mean. I was like,
yeah. I feel like you. I don't know. Maybe you were like afraid that.
I was terrified of everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I was like, I don't think so. Like, what happened? I'm like, what? I'm like, what happened?
So I can't remember which Christmas it is, but I want to say it was 2016. I want to say we had just gotten married that year. And, this is another height of my cup selling career, because there was not many people on Etsy. And when I say cups, guys, I'm talking about a stainless steel glass cup, help me. A wine glass and vinyl on it. And I was selling them like crazy. So Christmas came around that year, and I had been getting attacked all year by two particular girls. One, were they both on Etsy? No, one was on Etsy, one was just another girl. And I can't remember how with my super snoopy detective work, but I had found out that it was them two doing it. And they were reporting my listings for copyright infringement when they were not copyright infringement. And in between that, unfortunately, I was getting also dinged for some things that were copyright infringement from the frickin' Grinch. But I got that taken care of, wiped my whole website of Grinch stuff.
If anyone is unaware of Grinch stuff and you have Grinch stuff,
they don't mess around.
Take it down.
They do not mess around. I cringe when I see it.
Take it down.
So they had been, dinging me on the copyright, but you can fight copyright infringement things. And so I did every time, and I won every time because they have no solid proof. It's not even theirs. And they were just trying to get me off Etsy. So then it came down to the one girl, and she started hitting me for trademark infringement, which you cannot counter. You can't. It doesn't matter. They don't have to send any proof. I hope that they've changed the rules by now, but you can just submit a trademark infringement, and then Etsy's like, all right, we got her. Don't worry. Dinged. So I woke up one day, it was after Christmas, and I was severely behind on Christmas orders. I remember it was 300 and something pending orders. I remember it being an odd number, like 307 or 316 or something. most of them were already understanding that they weren't getting it by Christmas because I've put up posts or they ordered it after my cutoff date and stuff, but I still had to fill all those orders. And I'm sitting there and I log into Etsy and my dashboard looked different. And immediately my heart sank. And here this girl had given me a trademark infringement and Etsy banned me. And I knew that it was her. I knew it. I wish that I still remembered what it was that I found, but it was solid. The receipts were solid. And I kept sending them to Etsy. I bet you I could probably, if I needed to, look up the old emails and find the attachments. But
there is no internet sleuth quite like you.
They said that at one point they replied to me and said that they're not going to reply to me anymore. And I was shook. I've never been so scared in my whole life. I'm like, I don't know how to make money not on Etsy. So I had 300 and something orders pending. I thought it was weird because they didn't pay out the week before, which they usually do. They said they were holding it because of the amount of orders I had open, which is not the most amount of open orders I've ever had. So I thought that was weird. Then that next week came around to pay out and I got the notification that my Etsy was shut down and I still had to fill all those orders. Etsy had over $4,000 that they had to pay out to me for those orders, and they sent me an email saying they were holding the $4,000 for 6 months or 4 months. It was April something that the date was on. I still had to fill those 300 and something orders, and I was not allowed to use any of that money, which that money is the money that they collected for the shipping. Like, that's the customer paid the shipping. How am I supposed to pay the shipping? How am I supposed to ship 300 and something orders without any of my $4,000?
Yep.
I had to figure something out quick. And I had already started a Shopify, luckily, a few weeks before. And I actually just got my first Shopify order. It was a wine glass order for a wedding. It was like 7 cups or something, but I was so excited. But I needed to figure out something else quick. I was so scared. I was like, I can't go back and get a job. That's not going to happen. I filled a whole bunch of orders really quick with how much money I think I had on like a credit card or something. And then when I started running out of money and knew that I wasn't going to have any more money coming in, I started messaging the people on Etsy because I could still refund with the $4,000, but I couldn't like ship anything. So I sent them all messages and I said, hey, I'll refund your order if you replace it on my website and I will fill it right now for you. I was so desperate to get customers to know that I had a Shopify instead of the Etsy. So I rebuilt my Shopify that way. And luckily, long story short, because I could go on with this forever, but competitors took me off Etsy real quick. I mean, it wasn't real quick. It was over a span of a while, but
yep.
And I wasn't in these Facebook groups yet. I went looking for what I could do because 2017 I got by with, well, Etsy don't care anymore. I could say what I want, right? I used VPNs and because I'd researched it, and if I would have made a new Etsy even under someone else's name, they would have known from my location. They would have put 2 and 2 together. Mm-hmm. So I used VPNs. That's what it is, right? The thing that hides your identity on the internet. And remember, I made an Etsy under my mom to get by. And then that I think they wound up shutting that down because they put 2 and 2 together. But my Shopify at that point was popping because I was working on it the whole time. But I went searching for answers if this has happened to anyone else on Etsy. And also my mom was crafting at the time, so I was and she was moving to Texas. So I was also searching for help for her that wasn't just me so that she could get help all the time. I'm like, there's got to be a Facebook group for this. Maybe a Facebook group for like people that were kicked off Etsy or something. And I found the Cup Tisseritas. I think that's how you say it.
Cup Tisserita. Yeah, I believe it was the Cup Tisseritas.
And I'm like, I remember the first thing, I'm scrolling through and I kept seeing these cups turning. And I remember finally stopping. I'm like, why are they spinning these cups? So that was like 3 years that I was still being targeted by competitors, still making cups, and didn't even know that anyone else like me existed. I knew they existed, but I didn't know we were talking on Facebook in these groups. Yep. It saved my whole everything. I don't think that I would have made it on my $10 to $15 a piece cups on Shopify without Etsy's help so fresh in the game. Like 2017, people still,
People still don't even know what Shopify even was at that point. Honestly,
People didn't know what
Shopify
Etsy.
is still today finding its way in like being more known of a platform for selling things. But like especially above Etsy. Like if you walk, I'm sure, to 20 people on the street, at least 15, if you're like, "Hey, where would you sell handmade items?" They're going to say Etsy.
Yeah. And even it was everything was so new back then. No one was selling cup turners. Feather Bear,
Feather Bear Bling.
yeah, remember her husband he was making tutorials on how to make a cup
they were doing it
turner.
with gears.
And he was selling them on Etsy, I think. He was selling his cup turners on Etsy. You tried to make me one, I think.
Because I do.
And then you just bought me one.
Like I always do. I try to figure out myself. So we got that cup turner, and then I tried to reverse engineer it to figure out exactly how it was working. But even then, it was so funny because like when you like now tear down how they actually function with the rotisserie motor and everything, it's like, dude, we were overcomplicating it so much, and that's why they've evolved so much now. Now it's crazy. The sky's the limit, but where
it was hard to get them.
More competitive stuff, like even the people now that are the top Tumbler Turner makers are years after the original Tumbler Turner makers. I mean, honestly,
I don't even know if
honestly,
remember.
I made Tumbler Turners years before the top makers now. But like, I just knew that this was something that needed more time and effort with 3D printing and everything. And I have 3D printers and I have all this stuff, but it takes the time and effort, and we were focused on other projects. And
it came up on my rememberings that I made myself a cup turner.
Just like I said before with the market share stuff, it was something that I was there first. Not first, but I was there before the ones that are the top contenders now.
Well,
but I didn't decide. I wasn't like, hey guys, you can't. I was like, you know what? You're probably going to do it better because you're going to focus on just this. And I think the market deserves the better product rather than me trying to just like push everyone down and stop the advancements. Because that happens in like all other industries and stuff too.
At the time,
they
nobody else
suppress advancement.
At the time, no one else had individual switches with one plug. You did.
Oh, yeah. And that's because I have an electrical background.
Remember Kirsten wanted to start selling turners, and you made her a video of how to wire it together, and you hated being on camera back then, and you still made a video for one of my friends to also make cup turners.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
she did
we could
for a
find
minute.
it. I'm sure we could even find that somewhere. It's like a cell phone video. I'm pretty sure I was wearing my work clothes still because it's when we were still selling glitter out of the shed and stuff.
It's on Dropbox somewhere.
Because that's when we were selling glitter out of the shed, and not only then, it was doubled as my cup turner making area. I bought a drill press. I bought the table saw. I had a jig ready so that I could readily make these cup turners.
We weren't selling glitter yet.
No, not yet.
I was making cups. You remember my cup turners were falling apart, and I was crying because my cups kept falling on the table because
I fast forwarded a lot. The Feather Bear thing, we were still in Leviton.
Yes, the tutorial that I would follow, you had to take like a little wooden dowel and shove it in the PVC pipe, make just a little tiny indent, and then epoxy it to the motor. But the problem was that the motor was getting hot, warming up the freaking epoxy, and it would fall off every time.
And we had to figure out, like, once you would see other people making cup turners, and everyone had their own little idea on how to make them. There were some that were chain driven, there were some that were belt driven, there were ones that were just, with the regular single rotisserie, and then you had it eventually like I made it and now most of them are like that, but you just wire all the motors in series. But what happened?
Individual switches were so nice.
What happened was all these now I can't even remember what I was getting at. I lost my
You
spot.
fast forwarded too much. You found out that selling turners was before glitter. It was the spring before glitter. Same year.
My mouse. I'm losing my mouse.
That's because your whole side's a hot mess over there.
Listen, I got things.
I bet. Yeah, you were doing the turners, you were still doing the linemen, and then that summer is when my cups went viral again, the teacher cups, and we started Tumbler hacks.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It was just the last thing with the cup turner thing. It
There
was
you
just so
go.
funny because I was making them for a pretty short time when I was actually like making them and selling them. Because like I said, I knew it was very intensive, and I only want to put out something that I can definitely back and like feel confident putting my name behind and stuff, and shipping something so big because I wasn't making like 1 cup turners. If I was making them, I was, like I said, my thing was I was wiring motors in series and nobody was doing that. So everyone had like their thing. You had what's it called? Had the magnetic arms. Uh, who?
The Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken had the that was like
Oh,
their
remember
thing.
what was the other one? The cup something.
The
one.
Cuposaurus.
Yeah, the one they went. That was mean
Yeah,
when they.
you had the Cuposaurus. Yeah, there was all the different ones, but like none of them were doing like the series wired motor thing. So like I was doing that. So generally I sold like 4 to Sarah's was a 10 cup turner.
Yeah, but I don't think
But I
you
was
did more
usually
than 4 to ship.
I think I stopped at 4.
2s and 4s.
But anyway, full circle. This past weekend, like I was discussing earlier, how I had Alex, I went to Target to have her run around, and I stopped to grab my Starbucks, and lady in line
Yeah.
like came over to me, and I'm not a very big people person, and I am definitely not good with remembering people like at all. I don't even remember my own family members. I'm not kidding.
I'll test it out.
She comes up to me and she's like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hi," and she's like, you probably don't remember me, but you made me a cup turner," and I was like, "Oh," and then I still genuinely apologize because I remember vaguely. Like, you know what I mean? Like I should remember too because like I said, I only made probably like, I don't know, a dozen cup turners that I actually like sold and shipped at most because like I said,
There's a few.
I didn't want to do it. Yeah. I
So
kept
it's
getting
probably-
asked, and honestly, I was starting to get a little bit of a list, and I was like, whoa.
You were doing like 10 a
It's
week.
like, I don't want people waiting. I don't want this to be a thing that I'm like on the hook for because I was still doing line work and everything. So, yeah. So anyway, it still works. She was, I
I'm
mean,
so happy she said
said
that.
2 out of 4 motors are still working. She said the 2 inners are good. The 2 outers went, but yeah. I was like,
And those
man,
were their
and she's
little
still using
microwave
it.
motors.
She's still using it. I'm like, yeah, something
were
that
the-
I made is making somebody money.
Yes, those were the cheap microwave motors because everyone was using those first.
That's what they're still using, honestly.
You think? I didn't even
No,
look.
I know.
I mean, it works. It works.
The only
right?
thing that's what I'm saying. Everybody was overcomplicating it. It's so funny, and I know we're a little off topic because this doesn't really to do a competition. It's a little bit of the design
Well,
aspect.
we were kind of dumb. We got some.
But everybody was overcomplicating the design, and I guess, like I said, trying to stand out and be original, and like, boom, mine's held on with magnets, or mine is like vertical, or mine's chain driven. But if you just kept it simple, and if everybody stopped trying to own all those different ideas, then that's when everyone could just really make a great cup turner, which is kind of where we're at now. Like the magnetic arm patent fell away. Now other people can do, and I said it when they made that patent. Remember I said it out loud.
Yep,
I
they're
was
never gonna get it.
furious because that was honestly, I think, when I decided to just like throw my hat out of the ring in cup making, because I was like, I'm going to spend too much time trying to figure out a better way to attach arms. And there's no better way. Like, it makes perfect sense. And I'm pissed off that they decided that they just own that now.
I get it
too.
Feel that because it's not rocket science, and a lot of people, especially with any kind of engineer background or not, would have thought about that because they're like, what holds one thing to another thing, but I can detach it easily.
Yeah.
Oh, like a magnet.
Yep. There's and honestly, even the push pin thing that Dino's does, that was like, I was so focused on how
love it.
I was so focused on how perfect a magnet is that I didn't even see the push pin. And I
think that's less
Halloween
obvious.
is my favorite holiday. That is how every one of my props get put together. Every one of them, click, you push the pin, and it. So I've done that process 1,000 times, and my brain just didn't go like, "Hey, why don't we just put the push pin in it?" So
I'm glad you said that because I was gonna say I feel like although that seems so simple. Like you said, it's less obvious than the magnet. So like,
Yeah.
good for them. Also,
Uh-huh.
theirs comes
It
in
is
and out
just as
so
easy. That's all I'm saying is like I was so blinded by like this one idea, you know what I mean? And it was just like there are other ways out there.
And I don't see any other double stack, which I had vaguely mentioned, I think somewhere early on. I wish that I had a double tiered turner, but that'll never work. And we just were like, yeah, it'll never work. And we just kept going on with our lives and never gave it any thought. And good thing someone did, because that saves us so much room out there.
Yeah, I feel like we just see with to circle back to the competition conversation, we find more often than not, people are erring on the side of um, trying to sit there and brainstorm that one idea that is like, okay, this one's original, go out there and get it like trademark, patented, whatever. But even in we talked with the discussion with Nikki last week, defending your patent is a whole nother animal in and of itself. And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, most of the time, it's not done because it's very expensive to do so. So
yeah, Yeti's just throwing money away.
so just in general, like all that money invested, I don't know. It's an ego thing, I guess, to an extent, but also, you know, I get to with Nikki's argument with you want to protect yourself that nobody else can say that you stole it. So that's the protection there.
Because sometimes it's not the first one to come up with the idea, it's the first one to patent the idea or
Yeah.
trademark the idea.
I forget what the US is because we're in a bunch of them like Facebook trademark groups and stuff, but different countries have different trademark rules. Some countries it's idea first and some are trademark first. Like even if somebody came to the table to trademark an idea that I came up with first, if I am able to prove that it was my idea first, then they wouldn't be awarded it. I think that's how ours goes actually.
Yeah,
You know,
they
Chris?
like oppose it. You can oppose it. Trademark?
Patents, do you know if it's idea first here or if it's like if you have to like if you bring it to the office first or if it's the idea first?
What's
like
your
it- like
trademark
it-
knowledge?
It's usually whoever submits first to patent.
US don't give a shit.
So like if I had, let's say I came up with a new spoon and I talked to you about it, but I didn't have time to go to the office. Then you ran to the office about my new spoon, but then I had proof that I came up with the idea before you and went to the office.
It would go to court, like they would decide.
I think-
if you had proof, like
That's what I
honestly,
mean. Like,
no, you
because
would get
I know
that.
that what I was saying was different countries. It's weighed differently. Some are office first, like so whoever files first. I shouldn't say office first. It's filing first, and then others are like as long as you can prove it.
But
it don't
would
matter
also-
if you
it would
file
also
first.
have to be before the patent was official. So like if
They
if
publish it
they
for
got their
opposition.
idea there and you came a year later with proof that you had it first, because the patent was already given to them, it wouldn't be.
Once it's awarded, it's awarded.
I was gonna say what Chris says. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, but they'll publish it for opposition. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah, I believe so.
They'll I don't know if, I mean, it's public record, and I think you can even sign up to get like notifications for that stuff, but that's when you would oppose it, because that's something I learned in the trademark group. I wasn't sure if that was until Chris
I wonder
said.
how many people are just out there that are just like general entrepreneurs or engineers and stuff and have, you know, an immense amount of ideas. Like I have 100 ideas floating in my head, but I don't write them all down. But people that do that for a living and have them written down that just like hawk the website whenever they post things for opposition are just like, another one of my ideas again.
Well, the trademark group, they look at that list regularly, and then they will fight certain trademarks that they just don't think that these companies should have. Things like a big example, Boy Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not fair. You know you're not fair. You know you don't deserve that trademark, and I don't even know who has it, but all of those kinds of trademarks.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, you know what? I should have pulled up the information prior. And I mean, it took us all this conversation to get to the point of it. But this year, I believe that the USPTO is starting a new AI to help wade through all of the requests because they are extremely, extremely backlogged.
AI is going to take over the world.
But they put out for like the first time the USPTO like polls to ask people specifically like, okay, we've been screwing up, we've been approving shit haphazardly. We need, obviously it's not going to be a perfect system, but like help. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
got ideas. Can you, what do you got? Like, what can we do better?
Give me the bot.
So they're actually opening the floor for discussion, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and that's definitely a short side. I wish I had more of that information ready of what exactly people were suggesting. But the concept of just the whole AI thing, that's what people are very scared of, because it's just seeing blanket terms and it's not understanding context, and it's approving shit and it's denying shit that should not be happening.
Oh yeah, there's a few of them that come to mind that I'm not going to
But
talk
even
about.
humans are, like you said, like, it wasn't AI that approved Boy Mom. You know what I mean? Like, that was a human that was like, you know what? Great idea, and I'm glad you thought of it.
Stamp.
Stamp that. And I'm like, what, dude? I know
Don't
in
say the
the
one
in,
that'll trigger me.
in the trademark search, it's very relevant to holiday that's coming up very soon, and it's But Did You Die?
Oh,
The
that's a new
Easter
one.
the Easter shirts. Well, that one was like throughout the like whole pandemic and stuff, and I don't remember
Well, newish, you know.
the name of the story. Yeah, it's relevant. But I know that the last drama of it was the lady that had the ownership or was fighting for the ownership was dropping it. But I mean, honestly, you got to expect, especially around Easter time, with a quote like "But did you die?"
I think it's
Even
so
if you're the
funny,
first
too.
one that came up with it, I'm here to tell you that that is kind of general enough that even if, like, I feel like I could think that I thought it up myself. You know what I mean? Like, if I never heard you say it, and this year I watched a movie that had that quote, and I was like, and it was around Easter time, I'd be like, damn, that'd be a hilarious shirt. And then you go and make that shirt, and next thing you know, you got cease and desists all over.
It's crazy because it's like, it's someone, technically speaking, it's a line from a movie. It's just die is spelled different. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot behind the drama of that shirt design
I mean, when you go in that
specifically.
group, there's always drama on all kinds of trademarks. It's nuts. I've left it for a little while, but I was keeping up on it for a minute. Let's see what comes up. I spelled it wrong anyway, and I think I just lost. Nah, it's not coming up. Oh
All
well.
right,
It ain't that important.
that's fine.
They'll know.
Yeah, I'm gonna move us into
The trademarks could go on forever.
Twisted Tea.
Twisted.
I guess it depends who you ask.
All right, Twisted Tea. First headline: English police say they foiled an extravagant plot to steal Cadbury chocolates. Let us read. A local British police department is saying it helped save Easter for fans of the chocolate egg. A man was arrested in England after allegedly stealing a semi-truck that contained 200,000 Cadbury creme eggs
Holy
last
moly.
Saturday, police announced. The man, whom the Associated Press identified as 32-year-old Joby Poole, was stopped on the highway in Telford, a town in central England. Shortly after the theft, Poole allegedly used a metal grinder to break through a gate and into the truck, according to the AP.
He was really hungry.
The extravagant theft took place on Saturday, the 11th of February. The West Mercia police tweeted, along with the creme eggs, a number of other chocolate varieties were also stolen. In all, the seized chocolate is thought to be worth 40,000 British pounds, or slightly more than $48,000. That's actually a lot
That's a lot of eggs.
of eggs.
How much are Cadbury eggs?
Good question. I'll actually look that up. How much is one Cadbury creme egg?
You're gonna get like ads for Wawa or Walmart and CVS for the rest of the day for Cadbury eggs.
Cream egg. Oh no, my thing's using Yahoo. They're $1.79.
$1.79.
So yeah, I'm not doing the rest of the math, but that's a lot. All right. Next headline: Deer crashes through classroom window at Alabama and elementary school. I thought an alternative title could have been Petting Zoo Gone Wrong.
I enjoy that. I enjoy the alternate title. We'll have to tell Ben Hooper.
Yeah, I
Is that
feel
what
like.
that says? 'Cause I don't have my
Could you
contacts in.
imagine though, like as the deer busts through the window, the teacher's like, "Oh my god," and the kids are like, "Yeah!"
Is that how you pictured it going down?
I feel like Alex would be stoked if a deer jumped through the window. She would actually be stoked if a lion jumped through the window. She'd be the most stoked.
And the most eaten.
No, lions love deer, actually.
All right.
If you didn't know that. Baby Shark taught us.
Twisted Tea.
Anyway, security cameras at an Alabama elementary school were recording when a deer crashed through the window of a classroom. Evergreen Elementary School administrators said in a Facebook post that staff members arrived Monday morning to discover a deer had been in the building during the weekend. The post, which included security camera footage of the animal, said the deer struggled to walk on the school's wax floors before wandering around for a couple of hours. Once acclimated with the new environment, it jumped out of the window as fast as it entered, the post said.
Wild.
That's amazing.
I feel like that happens more often than not.
They have video. Oh. He just went right through. Is that it?
Are deer on the West Coast? Does the West Coast have deer, or is that an East Coast thing?
Dude, you know what's funny is there's like a whole lot of story that goes along with deer that we can talk about in like a whole episode if you're interested in deer.
There's so many. I know more people
forget,
than
but-
not that have gotten a
There
deer
he is
run
again.
into their car.
Look at him. Oh, dude, he's having a rough go.
He's slippery.
That's hilarious.
Ah, it's kind of sad, not hilarious.
All right. Maryland man buys 2 lottery tickets, wins 2 jackpots. Look, are you kidding me?
That's like you at bingo.
I don't double bingo, but
What do you mean, triple card?
I win. I mean, it doesn't mean that I hit bingo 2 times at the same time.
True. I guess I was just, you know what? You and the raffle baskets.
There's a Maryland man who decided to double up on tickets for a Pick 5 lottery drawing ended up winning the $50,000 top prize twice. I don't even think I knew that you could do that. You can just pick the same numbers over and over. The 48-year-old Waldorf man told Maryland lottery officials he always plays the numbers 28931 in Pick 5 and will occasionally buy 2 tickets for the same drawing. The man said he decided to double up when he bought the tickets for the February 11th midday drawing at the Old Branch Sitco in Temple Hills. The
How
player
lucky.
checked the results later using the Maryland Lottery app and discovered both of his tickets were winners, earning him a total prize of $100K. I was so excited, the winner said. I've been playing these numbers for a little bit, and I'm so happy they finally came out. The man said some of his winnings will go toward paying bills, and the rest will go into savings. Dude, nice.
I don't know if I've never personally played the lottery. I don't know how to order a lottery ticket, and I don't really, I guess
Order? It's not like delivery or Grubhub.
no, you have to go up there and talk to someone, and there's too many lottery things. I have no idea what I'm ordering. I'm not in it
Listen,
to win it. I'm
I
good.
understand.
I'm so good.
I understand the anxiety of like not wanting to pick numbers and stuff. I honestly am not sure if it's still exactly the same. I think it's a lot more advanced, especially with the big touchscreen guys that are in like Wawas and stuff
You
now.
gotta fill out the little paper.
Because you don't have to do the paper on those things.
Everyone at 7-Eleven's filling out papers.
The 7-Eleven doesn't always have the big machine thing. So that's the part that I'm talking about, is you can still get the paper and have to fill in the circles, but if you ever took like a Scantron test in high school, it's like the same. Not that hard, but the big screen thingy, you just hit the numbers that you want. You're just like, you want to do pick 5? Boop, 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 boop. Give me my ticket. And then you get your ticket.
I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to be a millionaire another way. Cause I don't know. I'll pick the wrong lottery.
I was going to say, can you learn how to be a millionaire? But I guess there are books and videos.
Podcasts, blogs.
Listen
YouTube
to this
videos.
podcast and you are definitely going to get hella rich.
Not this one. That a different one.
No, this one.
Oh. Is that for next week?
Can
Did
you
I miss
feel
something?
the wealth accruing in your pockets?
I only got back pockets in these.
All right, Valentine's Day story. Yay.
You have more
The
stories,
picture's
bro?
not loading. No, I told you that there's 4. 4 twisted teas. You shorted me a drink. Underwater kiss. World record broken for
Why do I have a
Valentine's
feeling I'm
Day.
never gonna live that down?
I'm just reloading because I want the picture. Boo.
We'll give Chris the picture. He can edit it in for you
Yeah.
later.
Oh, it's a video. All right. A South African woman and a Canadian man traveled to the Maldives to break the Guinness World Record for the longest underwater kiss ahead of Valentine's Day.
Is that in India? Where is that?
Beth Neal, what?
Where is that?
Maldives? That's like Fiji and stuff, right?
Oh,
Like that area?
Or no.
no, she was South African.
She's South African and he's Canadian. It's somewhere between South Africa and Canada.
That's not true. I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
Us Americans are real good with our geography.
I don't think
Beth
you realize
Neal,
how close
40,
Africa and Canada
and her
are.
fiance Miles Cloutier. Yes, it is Cloutier because he's French Canadian. 33, locked lips underwater. I wonder if they French kissed in the Maldives on February 4th and kissed underwater for 4 minutes and 6 seconds. That sounds like attempted
I can't even keep
murder by drowning.
Yeah, I can't even hold my breath that long.
The couple broke the world record previously held by Michelle Fucarino and Elisa Lazaina, who kissed underwater for 3 minutes and 24 seconds in 2010. The couple said their successful record attempt came after 3 days of practicing. They took on the record in the pool at the LUX South Airy Atoll Resort.
By the way, I would just like the record to show that, not that I really thought it was, because I knew it wasn't. Maldives is absolutely not in between Africa and Canada. If you go the short way, if you go the long way, obviously we're a spear. It could be somewhere in between there.
I said I think that
it's in South Asia.
It's my original guess was that it's near Fiji.
Yes, that was your original guess.
Is it near Fiji?
I think so. It's in between South Africa and Australia.
There they are, breaking the record. This is exciting. They just do this for 4 minutes. I don't want to watch that.
I wonder what they did for I obviously I can't keep my butt in a seat for 4 minutes. My attention span would have been gone. I'd been like, I got things to do.
All right, so this is great because this is the last story, and then this circles back into the competitive question, right?
So if this is podcast,
how competitive do you think they are? Do you think one of them was like, we almost got the record, and I'm going to hold you down here, whether you like it or not, because we are breaking this bitch?
I wonder if they went through, they're like, I really want to break a record. Let's go through the list and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Why this?
Yeah, it didn't say that they have, like, experience
I was going to say
diving.
they have to. They have to have some kind of water thing. Like, one of them has got to be something for something. Normal people don't hold their breath that long. That's just not normal. How long can you hold your breath, Chris?
At the highest, like 6 minutes.
Nuh-uh. Holy
Well, what's interesting is
so
like,
then
if one of them
you need to get your wife to hold her breath as long, and you guys got this in the block.
If you hold a mouthful of oxygen for them in case they can't hold their breath, it's a little weird, but you could literally breathe.
I was gonna say
a mouthful of oxygen into their.
Could you keep going back and forth? Doesn't it lose its stuff?
You're just gonna be sending
CO2.
That's right. You're gonna be sending CO2 back and forth.
You poison yourself.
I knew that.
Can we breathe underwater infinitely if we just lock lips?
Right.
That'd be amazing. That'd be like human submarines.
30 seconds.
Yeah, you just lock mouths together. Yep. That'd be awesome.
It would not be a good time for one of you.
What? No. Especially the one that doesn't feel like swimming.
I was peeing.
No, the last time that we went to like any snorkeling type stuff.
And it was in the ocean, by the way. It was in the pool.
The big tour guide swimmy man had to give you the life raft to hold on to, the ringy ding, and drag you.
If we're gonna really bring this story up, we have to tell the whole story so it doesn't just sound like I'm a terrible swimmer, which I am not a great swimmer. We were on vacation and we went on that excursion, and the excursion was you had to get on the speedboat and go out to the barge. What did he say on the speedboat? Don't poop in the porta potty. He will speed you back to the land. So I noticed that the porta potty's taken up pretty long, and I'm like, I know it. Someone's in there pooping, and it was a few minutes, and then I was like, oh God, I gotta pee so bad. I gotta pee so bad. So I opened the door. God. And I ran, and I remember, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And you were like, pee in the ocean. I'm like, I don't want to go in the ocean. And I didn't. And then they were going to do the thing. And I was like, all right, well, you were like, I'm going. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to go. So I just tried to lag back so I didn't pee in the ocean that's next to the person next to me. So I tried to pee, but then he kept calling my name, so I couldn't pee. So now I'm like, and I'm like, just give me a second. And then he put me on the ring, and I'm like, well, I guess I won't pee. I guess I'll never pee. I guess I'll just hold it in until we get back to the hotel. Why not? That was horrible. It was actually scarring. I had to pee so bad. I'm like, oh, the ocean's fine.
It was fun.
It was. It makes for a good story, but it was like, come on, follow the rules. Don't poop on the barge.
Oh.
It was a horrible timing. We were only there for like 2 hours. What did you eat that it had to be right now? It's a good ending note on our story.
Great ending.
Get me
Let's
fired
talk
up about peeing in the
poop.
ocean. But for the record, I'm not a great swimmer.
All right. That is, I think, gonna wrap up what we got for now. And we will pick it back up, right? First thing Monday.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to know that, but they do now.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it.
Well, they'll be listening to this while we'll be recording another
Yeah.
one at some point.
Sure thing.
And then I got more trips.
All right.
See ya.
Let's get back to work.
Tea, and when making tea, always bring the pot to the kettle and never bring the kettle to the pot.
Now, pour the tea.